Don't get blinded by the light from fame. We're all ordinary people at the end of the day. We make decisions, some good, some bad, but we all pushing for things we never had.
Ordinary people with extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
Everyday people trying to make a way.
It's just us.
Ordinary people with extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
Trying to make a difference step by step each day. It's just us.
Hi, I'm Charlene Bowden. Welcome to It's Just Us. This is your first time joining us. So glad to have you here today. And if you've been here before, welcome back. We're so glad you chose to stop by again to watch the show. On today's show, I'll be talking with Mr. Craig Stewart. Craig is an entrepreneur. He's also a writer. He's written plays, he has written books, he has written diaries and journals, and that's what we're going to talk about today, his most recent book, Words Never Spoken. Now, Craig wrote this book kind of like a diary, so he didn't intend for anyone else to see it but Craig. So you can only imagine what is involved in this book and what the conversation is going to be about, because it's his personal thoughts, his personal feelings and ideas, so we're going to talk about that with him. Stay with us. We're so glad you're here. We'll be right back.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Hi, and welcome back. Joining me now is Mr. Craig Stewart. As I mentioned, Craig is an entrepreneur. He's also a writer with many writing disciplines in many different areas. Welcome to the show. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to meet you, yes. Let's start off with you sharing your journey as I don't know which one I want to start with, because you've written so many different mediums. Let's talk about your entrepreneurial aspects. What have you done?
I started a greeting card company called Say It in a Card. We started in 2002.
Okay.
I started writing them in 2002, and the business began in 2004. We were in 7 stores throughout Metro Atlanta, as well as online. Okay. And the premise behind the business is they're non-gender specific, so there is no card that would ever be specifically for a woman or for a man. So we have breakup cards, troubled relationship cards, friendship cards, and all of the traditional cards too. Mm-hmm. But you can visit the website and you can read the cards on the site, and we ship them to you. Okay. So through that business, I also write wedding vows and the wedding toast and all of those things too. Yeah. Okay. So that's one of the businesses I started. But I also wrote and produced a stage play called A Day in the Life.
Yes. Tell us about that.
A Day in the Life. It debuted in 2002. I've done 4 productions here again in Atlanta. The last production was in 2007. Mm-hmm. So the goal is to take the show national, to tour the show. But A Day in the Life, it brings 6 characters together in a focus group, 6 gay characters, and I believe those characters represent the persona that you find within the gay community. So there's the extremely flamboyant character that everybody can identify, to the transgender who believes she should have been born a woman, to the religious minister of music of the church who's struggling to reconcile his sexuality with his religious beliefs, all the way down to the quote-unquote DL character, or the character who is straight identified, he has a girlfriend or a wife, and he doesn't believe he's gay. Okay. So they come together in the focus group. It's a dramedy. And so we had sold out plays here in Atlanta, and but the first show, the debut show, it sold out. Okay. But then the 2 subsequent shows, they flopped. And then the final show that we did, we opened to a sold out audience, and we did 13 shows. Okay. And so that was 2007. So the goal is to take the show national. Okay. What call were you answering by writing this play? What an interesting smile that was. What was the call? You know, the thing is, I never even thought about writing a play. When I moved here, I'm originally from Maryland. I graduated from Hampton University in Virginia. I was a broadcast journalism major. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to do the news at one point, but I realized in college that wasn't my calling. Okay. I moved here to write music, and so I wrote music for a while. Worked with a bunch of producers that are here who have songs that are on albums. I was fortunate to work with Brandy, but again, never got the song on the album. So I kind of got frustrated with writing music. And at that time, I was coming to terms with being gay and coming to my own self-acceptance, if you will.
Okay.
And so the first guy that I got involved with and dated actually found that he was HIV positive, and he found out 2 months after we met. And so that relationship, or that dating experience, really was the impetus for me writing A Day in the Life. So that was how that happened.
Okay.
I never even set out to write a play.
Okay.
So
and,
that
and now
happened.
look at you.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's stay on this writing journey a little
Okay.
bit more. I know that you wrote for YEA.
Yeah, Freddie Hendrix Youth Ensemble of Atlanta.
Yes, and what did you write for the? This is what age group was the?
Oh,
the
wow.
ensemble?
It was all the way up to, I think, age 24.
Okay.
I believe they went all the way up to age 24. Okay. Most of the kids that were in YA were drama students of Freddie. Freddie Hendrix is the founder, and he was a drama teacher at Tri-Cities High School. And so most of the kids that were a part of YA at the time came from Tri-Cities or North Atlanta. And so I just graduated from Hampton, and I moved here, and a guy that I went to school with, went to Hampton with, is from Atlanta, and he told me about the Youth Ensemble of Atlanta. Okay. And so we were writing a production called Psalm 13. And Jane Fonda was actually, she financed the production and everything that they were doing at the time. And so Psalm 13 really dealt with the struggles of teens, or youth, if you will. So there were elements of teen pregnancy, teen violence, just all of that kind of thing. And it was the resident theater company was, or theater house was 7 Stages in Little Five.
Okay. We're going to stay on this writing journey a little
Okay.
bit more. I think I want to start kind of in the back and work our way up on this one. Who is the intended audience for this book?
Oh, wow. The intended audience is any parent that's struggling to accept their child that's gay. It's for the dreamer, the person who is focused on an idea, a business, but there's no evidence that it's going to work out, and so they're so close to giving up. So it's for that person. It's for the little boy that's afraid to tell his parents that he likes other little boys. It's for the man who is considering getting married to a woman because he thinks there's no other way. So it's for yeah.
One thing when you were introduced to me that I really wanted to pull out of this conversation and hopefully help and encourage and motivate others is the truth conversation. Because there's, we hear the scripture or the statement or whatever you want to call it, you should know the truth, it'll make you free. But we take out the part, you got to know it. So it's a self-discovery, a self-exploration. When you know it, that's when freedom comes, whatever the freedom is for someone. So I want to know some of the feedback that you've gotten from your readers on the book.
Excuse me. The feedback has been excellent. I've almost been bracing myself for something other than this great reception, but it's been amazing. And when I wrote this book, I had lived here in Atlanta for 13 years. And as I said before, I only thought that I wanted to write music. That's the only thing I thought I could do was write music. And after 13 years of starting Say It in a Card, producing A Day in the Life, I got to a point where I was starting to feel unfulfilled, and I was thinking that I was on the wrong course, that writing wasn't my calling. Because my car had been repossessed. All of the things happened in the last 3 years that I was here. My car had been repossessed, there were eviction notices on my door, my bank account was negative $660. And nothing seemed to be working. And my instincts told me that it was time for me to move to LA. And I ignored my instincts. And then about 6 months later, the same instinct, the same whisper, the same calling. And so I sold everything that I had of value and I moved to LA. Didn't know why, I only knew 2 people there, still didn't have a car. I was staying with a friend's family. And 3 months after I was in LA, I started writing Words Never Spoken, and I realized that that was what I was born to do. I realized that the reason things became so uncomfortable for me in Atlanta, it was like God was trying to pinch me and to make it so uncomfortable here for me to leave so that I would be still long enough to write this book. So that was what happened. And so I think that the timing is right. I think there are people who want to be free, who want to be set free. And I think that it's time for a healthy, honest, national conversation about sexuality, especially in the Black community.
Okay. If you can do this in a nugget, pull something out of this book that you really want to share. I know we got a whole conversation here, but I just want you to take some nuggets out. And let's talk about it. So I want people to know what's in the book. So just let's talk about that.
It really is about self-acceptance, and it really is about giving yourself permission to be free and to live your truth and to stand in your truth without apology, to live an unabashed life. I think that if we lived in a world where we embraced and accepted people for who they are, we wouldn't have the level of deception that we have when it comes to men who are married to women, or women who are married to men who know that they are also gay. I think we would see a difference in the HIV rate in the Black community, but we have to open up a pathway for people to feel that they can be who they are, without hiding their truth.
Right, and it's still a truth conversation.
It's a truth
and,
conversation.
And we don't want people to feel, I don't want people to feel that has to be your truth. Well, if I'm doing this, then that must be my realization. Right. Whatever the realization is, just come to that place of truth and understanding, and then you can walk in that place of acceptance and live your life. Tell me some of the emotions that you experienced when you saw those words on paper.
Oh, wow. Writing the book, I really didn't even know if I was going to put the book out. When I first started writing it, I didn't even know that it was a book. And then once I realized that it was a book, there was quite a bit of trepidation in terms of putting it out, because I thought about the perception, the way that people might view me, because it's extremely honest, and that's why I call it Words Never Spoken, because it's things that I've never talked about, and that we just never hear, period. Right. I write about a depression.
I know I opened up a big conversation. Gotta take a break real quick. So when we come back, you finish sharing, we'll be right back.
Look at me, hey.
Raymond, look at mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
So before the break, I asked Craig to share some of his emotions that he was experiencing, seeing his words on paper. And I want you to pick that back up.
Yeah, so there was a lot of fear. There were a lot of tears. Tears because I was afraid of what I was writing and whether or not I would be judged for it. But then also grateful because I had gotten through a depression. I had gotten through a period in my life where I was meeting people that I didn't know on the internet for sex. So there were so many things, and then getting through the financial part of it, the plight. But once I realized there were a lot of chills too, because I knew that there was power in the words, and I knew that it would reach people. I didn't have a publicist at the time, still don't have a publicist today, but the book has moved from small cities in Georgia and Mississippi all the way to South Africa and the UK. So I know that I was called to do this work. I was commissioned to do this work.
Okay. What's on the horizon?
Oh, wow. Developing a television series with someone really special and important, but we're really in the infantile stages of it. We're just about to start pitching to sell the show. Okay. I'm writing the sequel to Words Never Spoken now, and still pushing Say It in the Car. And the ultimate goal is to take A Day in the Life national. Yeah. I won't stop until that happens. Yeah.
So have you really gotten the outcome? Your desire, so what you want to be when you grow up, kind of this is it, this is my moment. So are you, from all of your different projects, are you getting your desired outcomes from them?
I am. This is the day that I was praying for. You know, my grandmother taught me to pray, and I write about that in the book. And so this is the day that I was praying for.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to share with us? Actually, before that, what is our biggest takeaway? What do you want us to walk away with from just this book in particular?
To adapt to whatever life sends your way. It really is about being able to move and shift and bend and compromise some of the things that you may hold true that may not necessarily be as important as we think they are. But yeah, Of course, the backdrop of this book is my coming out story, but it's so much more than that. It's also my parents' divorce and how that impacted me, my sister's drug addiction, my brother spent 23 years in jail. So it's all of those things. It's not just this coming out story.
Yeah.
It's bigger than that. It transcends race, gender, sexuality.
Yeah. You doing anything with your music?
Yeah, I actually, when I was living in California, I actually wrote a song, and the artist is actually recording that song now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you write more for other people than...
Yeah.
You do sing?
No,
though?
I don't sing.
I
mean, I can hold a tune, but I'm not gonna.
Not a performer, or definitely not a recording artist,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I'm so glad you're here. Such a pleasure to meet you.
Me.
I've really
Thank
enjoyed
you for
talking
having
with
me.
you. And again, I was just intrigued when the book was presented to me by a mutual acquaintance of ours, and he said, "Would you be interested in something like that?" It's like I'm really interested in conversations and people opening up to truth.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely interested in that. So I'm so glad you were able to join me today. Would you share your contact information with us?
Absolutely. I can be reached through my website. It's www.craigthewriterstewart.com. My email address is there, and then of course you can purchase the book from there as well through Amazon, Kindle, or any of the e-readers. And the audiobook is now available too. I narrate it, so that's available as well.
Okay, you do workshops too, don't you?
I do.
Okay, and who attends your workshops?
Up and coming writers, but then also I've done some more speaking engagements, if you will, for gay youth organizations here throughout Atlanta. I've done one in New York, so yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are done.
Thank you again.
You are so welcome. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, that's it.
You're good?
Thank you.
All hearts and minds are clear?
All hearts and minds are clear.
Come back as you progress, as you
will.
move forward. All the best to you and in your endeavors. And please keep in touch with me.
I will.
Love to have you come back and sit and chat a while.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is our show for today. So glad you came to join us. We've had a great time, as you can see. Our website, if you would like more information about us, is it'sjustustalkshow.com. You can send us your emails to it'sjustustalkshow@gmail.com. Please join us on our social sites. Reach out to us. Give us your feedback, your comment. We also take show considerations and show ideas and guest considerations, that is. Again, I am Charlene Bowden with It's Just Us. We'll see you next time.